Day 2 PRI 2021. Today, first thing this morning, I'm in the ViKing Performance booth. As you guys know, we're a dealer. We have a very good reputation with ViKing. ViKing has an excellent reputation in the community, and in this price range, I don't think there's a better performing shock or coilover or spring package out there. We have a lot of successful racers in the no prep world running ViKing shocks that they've gotten through us. We're very well versed in what it takes and the parameters involved to help you be successful. And they make a great product made right here in the good old US of A. So let's take a look at a few things.
Hey, my name is Mike. I'm an engineer with ViKing Performance. I've been here for 5 years now. What we do here is we make performance shocks, springs, and rod ends. We specialize in double adjustable shocks and now triple adjustable shocks. That's kind of our bread and butter. We, as a company, from the beginning, the company started out in 2011, we kind of wanted to go down this path of making performance shocks that are going to be specific for race car owners and something that's affordable, good bang for your buck and all that stuff. Because of this, we decided that doing a double adjustable shock is going to be the best performance shock that we feel everyone should have. A double adjustable shock basically is one where you can adjust compression and rebound separate from one another. Compression is basically when the shock is collapsing, so like you push down the bump of your car, rebound is going to be the direction where the shock is extending, so like it can be picked up on your bumper. Now for most cars, like a drag race car, that's really important because your car is physically doing the action of compressing in one direction in the back, extending in the front. If you're doing like a slick car, if you're doing like a drag radial car, you have some other stuff going on as well, but all that kind of stuff is going to be beneficial to any kind of a drag race car. We kind of tailor towards multiple different avenues. We have a lot of guys that do drag racing, street stuff, a lot of handling cars. So because of that, we've come up with a lot of different series of shocks in order to best match your performance goals. So if you were to call in and talk to us and ask like, hey, I got a 68 Camaro, I'm going to do this, that, or the other. We're going to ask you specific things like what kind of engine you have in it, if you do anything to add or remove weight, are you looking to lower the car, anything like that, are you doing stock suspension, do you have something modified? And for the most part, we can kind of work around any kind of modification you've done. We can match any kind of goal you're trying to go for, and really match any kind of horsepower level you're working with too. So it's a very, very versatile product. So what we're kind of known for is our Warrior Series, like our standard double adjustable stuff. It's a great entry level shock. It's going to be something that's really competitive. So like we price it at a price point that's a lot of our competitors put their single adjustable shocks at. So it gives you kind of that upper edge that's going to give you a lot of bang for your buck again. So beyond the Warrior Series, it's a good shock that's probably good for most drag cars, probably like 600-700 horsepower. Now, if you're starting to get into more of a max effort setup, that's where we'll start introducing our Berserker Series and our Crusader Series. The Berserker Series is a new product line that we recently came out with. You probably won't find much information out on the internet right now, but we designed it for high horsepower street car applications. So a lot of people these days with late model cars, they're going to have your like 800 horsepower supercharged cars, stuff like that. They want to really drive a lot. The Berserker Series is going to give you into a shock where you have different valving options, that can be changed up later on at a different date, and that will be something that's kind of tailored towards being safe to be driven on the street a lot, but it's going to give you, max effort type of performance at the track. Going up to a Berserker or Crusader Series, it's going to give you more robust internals compared to our Warrior Series. So you're going to have better sealing technology, something that can handle the force a lot better. And beyond that, we have the Crusader Series, which we've had for quite a while now. I think we introduced that around 2014 or something like that. But the Crusader Series is unique because it has our progressive rebound valving. This is basically a controlled orifice valving, and it's going to really allow the cars to work very, very well in high horsepower applications. So if you want to, we can look at our display down here. It kind of gives you an idea of the Crusader Series shock as it is. What's cool about the Crusader Series is that this needle and seat design is interchangeable for the user. So like, let's say you buy this shock and you change up your different series of what you're going to do with your car. So like, let's say it's a radial car. You go with something that's going to allow the valving to separate really nicely, but for some reason you want to go to like no prep or whatever you want to do. This rebound can be changed out by yourself without sending it back to us. Now, a needle and seat kit right now goes for $20, so it's a very inexpensive performance change that anyone can do in their shop. The main thing you have to do in order to change the stuff out is you do have to unbolt the shock from the car, lay it down horizontally, extend the rod all the way, and then you can remove the needle and seat from the back side of the knob here. So it's a very easy thing to do. I'm sure on your first time doing it, it probably takes about half an hour per shock, but once you get used to it, it's very quick beyond that. So this we developed basically to be a very, very user-friendly thing for most of the race guys out there that don't need to send their shocks in all the time in order to change up the car. So what I found to be very helpful for a lot of guys is, let's say there's a lot of no prep guys, they'll get very creative with their suspension design and kind of their strategy and how to do it. So one person setup, in my opinion, won't always work. But what I'll do is I'll talk with the individual that calls in and kind of get an idea of how they set up their anti-squat in the rear, how much travel they're going to go on their front suspension, and then we'll kind of work together to see what valving will work really well to kind of tailor towards that direction of what their strategy is. So an example of this, like we got some guys that will leave pretty soft, they want to have it compress them on the back, and then all of a sudden they have a lot of anti-squat come in, so once they start rolling power in, that thing can separate. So we'll work together on figuring out if we want to use a compression valve that's a really firm digressive one, or if we want to have one with bleed in there so it's nice and soft and doesn't upset the slick sidewall too much. And then we'll work on what type of rebound is going to help them separate whatever kind of travel they want to go to if they're doing a separate setup. We'll also do a lot of work with a lot of guys that if they're looking to do travel, a lot of front end travel, that's kind of a big thing these days for no prep guys. A lot of things we do with our shocks is we're very versatile on the different type of body length and mounting fixtures you can use. So let's say like your 68 Camaro normally comes with our 4.65 inch stroke shock. If you wanted to bump up to the next shock size, we can always look at your installed ride height, go that direction so that you have a little taller shock, which is going to overall give you more extension travel in the shock. So we can do that. We can also look at spring rates as far as giving you a lot of stored energy in order to make sure that you get that soft weight transfer that you're looking for and that kind of type of spring travel in order to get the car to move that much. So those things are pretty critical for making a no prep car work well, especially when you're working on all these different surface preps and stuff like that. So the no prep thing has been going on for a while. We've had a lot of experience working with a lot of customers on it. I know I see Ohio Garage Racing do a lot of videos on a lot of our customers' cars that we're doing it. I would say Billy the Kid from the Street Race channel, he's probably one of the bigger ones that we work with on that. But there's handfuls of people that we do all this stuff with. So we've even done some stuff on some different cars. Like if you don't see it in our application guide, doesn't mean we can't make something for it. If as long as it's a shock that has somewhat standard shock mounting styles, if you just give us an installed ride height measurement of the shock, center upper mount, center lower mount, we can generally come up with some kind of solution for you. So pretty versatile product. We have a lot of experience doing custom stuff, and we want to do anything it can take to make your shock work for your application and your performance goals.
There's a lot of folks that do end up doing that.
Yeah, the berserkers. So the one thing I can probably touch up on, here's our this is a Crusader shock for like S550 Mustang. We do sell the struts in Crusaders and Berserkers. Again, the main difference between the Crusader and the Berserkers is going to be the rebound valving. The Berserker is going to have a digressive rebound valving. We have 3 or 4 different rebound valving options for that. The Crusader is going to be just like the shock, where we have 6 or 7 different valving options for that, and the Crusader is going to be like a max effort drag shock. So both of them are very good. I would say the Berserker stuff, depending on your suspension setup, easily handle cars up to like 1,500 horsepower. Crusaders are anywhere beyond that. So we got a lot of cars that, like on a 275 radial, they're running low 1.0 60-foot times on a radial prep, like on a 275. Berserker stuff, you got guys that are running really, really fast on the street. So a lot of options there.